Hi, I'm Sandy Joyce, editor of La Vida News and a journalist, but most importantly, my grandfather broke horses for a living, so I'm a cowgirl, and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I am here for the opening of this wonderful museum again, and it's apropos that it's right now at the stockyards. So you need to come on out and check it out.
Yes, Madison Hogan, come on down to the museum. It's outstanding. Thank you.
All right. Hi, my name's Mark Lucas Kelly. I'm on the board and proud to be on the board of the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. So important, especially here in Fort Worth, that we call Cowtown, that this story needs to be told, where the West begins. We've got a Cowgirl Hall of Fame museum. We've got all sorts of museums to pay homage to the history. But the forgotten cowboy, the Cowboys of Color, the Asian cowboy, the Mexican cowboy, the African American cowboy, the Native American cowboy, that's the truth, not how Hollywood has portrayed it for the majority of time. Not to slam Hollywood, they've given us some great films, but the real accurate history really needs to be told so that the generations coming up fully understand who all took place in building this country. Just as we've learned about the Tuskegee Airmen who fought for this country, the guys and the gals that molded this country out on the pioneer days and on through current days in the rodeo were a rich fabric of people, not just the John Waynes. And so this is the effort here in Cowtown to tell that story. And I'm proud of it.
Kind of tour, he's going to kind of follow us and
all right. Sounds good.
But before we get started, I'd like to, as our new city council person, get a statement from you, what it means for the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum to be in the historic stockyards in your district, sir.
I think that it provides a much needed historic content, a sense of place. We're here in the stockyards, right? Amid all this redevelopment that's going on, it's almost as if you've had a second homecoming. I mean, there's probably some bittersweetness that you've left a place you've called home for so many years, Jim.
Yes, sir.
But here in the stockyards, we're welcoming you with open arms. Why is that? Because what this museum has always purported and supported is a natural fit for the stockyards, for its history, for the history of the area, and what it means to be, a cowboy of all stripes. Yes. So I think you're a very welcome asset and a very appropriate one to have. So we're glad to have you here in the stockyards and here in the heart of the North Side, I have to say.
North Side, right here
yes,
next to the Boys and Girls Club. 3 blocks from Exchange, 1 block from the famous Joe T. Garcia.
And it's another educational opportunity, right, for the area, because the museum teaches history, right?
Yes.
It's a natural lead, and like you said, you're nearby a lot of schools, so there'll be destination places for field trips, so we can look forward to that.
Yes. We're here at the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. We're open today officially August the 30th at 12 o'clock. We're now open to the public. We'll be here on Wednesdays through Saturday, starting out from 12 to 4 o'clock. We have, hundreds of artifacts about the history of the forgotten cowboys. Our museum highlights me and Carlos's culture. The Black, the Hispanic, Native American, Asian, and white cowboys are right here.
Absolutely. You
can visit cowboysofcolor.org, and now we're here in the Cobden building.
Yes.
A building that's 110 years old.
No, isn't that amazing?
Imagine what was going on, built by...
I think you have history on your side.
History's on our side. So they're going to come see the museum, and they're going to go see the building built by Mayor Bryce, who was an architect.
That's true.
In 1909. So I'm going to walk with Carlos to kind of show him some of the things that we have right here. Come on,
absolutely.
Carlos.
Let's go.
This is, kind of our open room where we have a lot of our artifacts. We're still getting access to the information, and of course everybody knows about Bill Pickett.
Of course.
Bill Pickett statue right in front of the Coliseum.
That's right, and he's got a medallion there on the pavement in the stockyards. Very well known.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we have the saddles for Fred Whitfield, world champion calf roper.
Nice.
So This is real. Yep. This is real. We also have Charlie Sampson saddle, and it kind of moves around. And then our gift shop is a work of art right now. We're going to get
Trying to get everything set up.
And so
You still have a lot of things coming in, right?
Yeah,
To find places for to display.
we haven't moved everything over from the old site yet. We're still just moving.
I remember a lot of this stuff from visiting your old site a few years back. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Come on back. And of course, we have a room dedicated to the Tuskegee Airmen.
Ah, something near and dear. Being an aviation guy, I like
Aviation,
this.
yeah.
I
So
like this.
connecting with the Tuskegee Airmen is something very important to us because they are very active as the Buffalo Soldiers.
Hey, the real Chappie, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir. So we will have them over doing workshops and seminars, here.
That's wonderful. I like that.
And that's a piece they gave us, when we hosted them as a reception and all.
Oh, yeah.
So
Flying top of the line fighters back in that day. Yeah.
And, old cowboy photos. We have about 35 old photos that you can catch. Then this is the Buffalo Soldier Club. That we highlight the fact of the old Buffalo Soldiers. This was a famous battle back in the day with the Buffalo Soldiers and the Native Americans.
As a kid, I used to do stuff like this. You know?
This
For a
was
little
built-
science fair and history project.
This was built by the Boy Scouts. They built it and they donated it to the Western Heritage.
It's nice. They did a good job. You did a good job. You have a lot of interesting pieces here. I have a lot of tie-ins that have been donated, or you acquired, through your stewardship in the museum. And that's very important because, they say time is money, but history is valuable as well. You miss out on an opportunity to preserve it, you may not ever get it again.
Get it again, can't know. And this is one of our most expensive pieces. Buck Taylor did this early on, about 15 years ago. This is an original Buck Taylor.
Really?
And Chevrolet paid for that. It
Very
donated
nice.
this to us. So there's so much here. And then Burl Washington is a famous artist who's in our Hall of Fame that paints the Buffalo Soldiers piece.
That's nice. Some good paintings here.
And of course, Bill Pickett is very, very important. And then this is our Hall of Fame room that we're walking into right now. This is in the museum. We have 110 Hall of Famers that have been inducted. This was the first class with Meredith Dykeman, Herb Jeffries, Charlie Sampson, Pepe Diaz, Stephen Heath, Bill Pickett, Bo Zikert, and Quanah Parker. So this was the first class in 2003. So each year we induct about 6 Hall of Famers.
And tell me briefly, Jim, what is it that you look for when you consider somebody to be inducted into the Hall?
Someone that's made a difference.
Okay.
Someone that past, present, and future that is promoted and highlight the Western culture, tying into the horse, because we do the jockeys, we got the first jockeys people didn't realize were African American. So, we got Robert Strauss, who rode in the Kentucky Derby and won, and then do equestrian. So anyone that's made a difference. And some of our past Hall of Famers like Bass Reeves and Stagecoach Mary Fields. Bass Reeves. I mean, a black United States deputy marshal that rounded up bad guys for 32 years, was notorious for always getting his man. And he is enshrined. And a lot of people say his story is actually the Lone Ranger.
Look at that.
Yeah, so it goes
We
in.
also have some local folks like Jim Lane.
Jim Lane, Native American, right out of Fort Worth. strong supporter of the
Oh, yeah.
Western
He has been, that's for sure.
So we'll still, this is a room and work, and then
Yep.
as you go down the hallway,
Okay.
you just see paintings and information. You know, Dean Smith, gold medal, he was in all of John Wayne's movies.
Oh, really?
You know, he's still alive, about 86 years old, and good-looking cowboy, and all of John Wayne's movies. He's in our Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's a piece from him. This is a piece from him, you know.
Based on research.
The original Maverick.
Yeah.
I remember watching that, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then this room here is our traveling exhibit.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we have, we'll be able to reach out and get traveling exhibits to come through. So they'll be through here. The Smithsonian Institute is very excited about us having some space we can do traveling exhibits. So everything's in a work of peace. And then here's a painting from Bill Pickett someone gave us.
All right, that's what I need.
Now, who gave this to you?
Yeah, that's an original piece. I cannot see her wrench. Yeah, wrench. And she donated that to the museum.
13.
That's good.
It's an original oil. And then here is the Native American room.
Okay.
To benefit the museum. And then the
Our
sales.
office from right now.
Right.
You know, but these are the 12 great chiefs.
Okay.
You know, Native American are in here. So
Yes.
you can learn about the culture of the importance of the Native American, and with our kids learning, it's always an awesome thing.
And that's something that I think gets overlooked far too often. I mean, when you think about the stockyards and Western culture, you know, the culture of the cowboy, it's easy to forget the contributions, like you mentioned earlier, of different people from different walks of life, different nationalities, different origins. And certainly the Native Americans were formative of what we romanticize as the Old West, right?
Yes.
Warts and all, you know, that was life back then, and they need to be acknowledged as being part of that rich history.
And the light horsemen, you know, they participated in the settlement of the West. The Buffalo Soldiers protected the Asians as they built the railroad moving through the West.
That's interesting.
So a lot of people don't connect that
Yeah.
30 to 40% of the cowboys were African American,
Yeah, that's-
Native
you're right
American, and
about that.
Hispanic. So you can imagine back in the day the importance of the stockyards with the cattle drives and all the history here. So
Yeah.
people like Hub Baker and Pam Minnick and Steve Murrin, they've always been supporters of Lauren and I
Absolutely.
in our effort to support the history of the forgotten cowboys.
I mean, they, you know, like minds and like hearts.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely.
So you being a believer and a supporter, I thank you
Oh, of course.
from my wife and I, founders of the National
You know,
Multicultural Western Heritage.
You don't have to thank me, Jim. Thank you for coming into the stockyards, and thank you for sharing this, you know, wonderful museum here in the North Side. And I might sound a little, you know, selfish with that, but I think it's a great asset for our area.
We're home.
I think
We're
so.
home. The
It's like a
gates.
se- It's like a second homecoming.
Yes.
I like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Remember, visit the Multicultural Museum. Y'all come on down. Lots to see. This is a great asset for our area.
You heard it right here. Carlos Flores, my man.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Gloria Austin, and today we're here at the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, located at 2029 North Main Street. And I'm so happy to welcome my guest today, Dr. William Morgan Delaney. And Dr. Delaney is a former board member, and he's serving on our advisory board. And now that, Dr. Delaney, you have retired, I'm ready for you to come back onto the board. How you
Okay.
doing today?
Well, I'm doing okay, and again, I want to reiterate that I'm a former board member and that I've been inspired and influenced by this Western Heritage Museum, specifically in terms of looking at the African American experience in Western history.
Yes. Well, you know, we have been so delighted by all that you have brought to us from your experience in operating museums. So you've given us a lot of information that's helped us. And, you know, we named our Western Heritage Symposium in your honor, which you were so humble about receiving, but we forced it upon him.
Yeah.
So every July, during our Hall of Fame induction, we do our Western Heritage Symposium. What would be your goal or your vision to see it grow in?
Sure. Well, I think in addition to just doing those symposiums that we've done every July and in conjunction with the Hall of Fame induction, I think that we probably need to publish some of them, publish some of the presentations so that people who come, of course, we get the information, but also we can spread the information into the community in general by publishing some of the papers that the scholars present at the W. Marvin Delaney Western Heritage Symposium.
Oh, that's an awesome idea, because that's something we haven't done. And yes, every year I have people who say, oh, we missed it this year. Is there a way? What do you think will be the best format for us to do that? Should it be in DVD or written? What do you think?
Well, possibly in both formats. One, of course, by publishing them, we attract a scholarly audience, but by putting them on DVDs and perhaps even posting them on some of them on Facebook and YouTube, we indeed will spread the information, the vital and important information about the African American experience in Western history.
That sounds awesome. So who would be some of your dream guest speakers for the symposium?
Okay, one of the great things is I like the fact that you brought Art Burton twice, because he indeed, is one of the top scholars in this field. There's a brother at the University of Washington whose name slips me at this point. As you get older, you forget some of these details. And he's been doing a lot of work on Western history, and in fact, he's sort of one of the preeminent scholars on Western history, looking at, again, how the United States developed, from what was New Spain to, of course, Texas, and then, of course, the western part of the United States. Yeah, and his name will come to me shortly.
Well, you'll have to find out on our website,
Yes.
cowboysofcolor.org. To get more information, please visit the website and plan to attend the W. Marvin Delaney Western Heritage Symposium the fourth Saturday of July.